Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. We're excited. We have a returning guest, one of our favorites. We're talking with the creator of All Things Elderberry. Emilia, welcome back to Ivy Unleashed.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're so excited. You're helping us kick off season 6, which is just a dream come true for us. And working with you has been a dream come true because what you're creating and putting into the world is literally healing homes. It's helping kids be able to get to school, get to their sports, preventing illness before trips, all of these really important things. And Brooke and I lean on your products every week of our life. And so we're really excited to have you back to talk more about what you're doing, more about elderberry, more so people know about their immune system and kind of how to boost it. But we want to start every episode this season with instant impact. So if people can only tune in for a few minutes and they want to walk away with a lesson from you that we'll unpack later in the episode, what would you like to share with them?
Well, I think based on my own experience and also what I've learned this year, and we can get more into that later, is consistency. So I think that is the key to pretty much everything, I would think, like all of our fitness goals, right? Health goals, all of the habits that we're trying to build. So I think it's really important to find something that you can be consistent with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, consistent with the elixir every morning is the impact I'm going to give. And for your kiddos, the gummies, we love all of the products, but specifically the elixir, the gummies. And the first episode we had you on, you dove deep into the research behind elderberry. And that's why we love you. You're a lifelong learner. You do the research for your products. Andrew and I are curious, what new research are you finding? New healing properties of elderberry that you want to share today?
So actually, it was exciting. The International Elderberry Symposium was held in Columbia, Missouri this year. It was hosted by Missouri University, which I live in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like an hour and a half away. So I bought a ticket and I drove out there and I spent the weekend there. And it was so cool because like I said, it was international. So there were universities from all over the world that came and presented what the studies were that they were doing on elderberry. And it was so cool because, I always hear like, oh, elderberry is so antiviral. Like we hear that all the time. That's why people use elderberry. But to actually have somebody explain the mechanism, like that was fascinating to me. So apparently, the virus has to go into the cell, upload into the DNA and to replicate. And elderberry actually, they said to think of it like a scissor mechanism. So elderberry actually cuts the virus's like cord that would like kind of go in the cell and replicate. So the virus cannot get in to replicate. So when you're taking elderberry, especially like the elixir, when you're taking it daily, you're constantly just lowering that viral load.
Mm-hmm.
We all think of it for a flu, but actually they studied other viruses as well, even the HIV virus, and said that it has the same effect. So it's just like a virus thing, not necessarily a flu virus. So I thought that was pretty fascinating because you always hear it. You hear like, oh, so people think, oh, like it raises the white blood cell count. Well, it's actually destroying the virus's ability to replicate.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty neat. Like I didn't really
amazing.
know exactly how that worked before.
Wow. And I can feel this in real time. It is crazy because, and even like my sister-in-law the other weekend, she was like, I feel a tickle in my throat. I was like, oh, take the elixir right now, keep it in your house. You can just have mine and take it every couple hours until it's gone, And so I think I've experienced this, and I know Brooke has too, where it's like we feel something coming on. So we take just a tablespoon of it, or I pour it into a glass and mix it with water sometimes and drink it that way. And so it's so interesting, and it's got to be so fulfilling for you to know that what you're creating is doing that. So I really want to talk about the elixir though, because I was obsessed with the gummies last season because my kids like them. And when my kids like something, I get really excited, especially when it's good for them. So that habit is in place. But I want to talk about the elixir for everybody that's listening, just kind of how they would use it, how it works, how it actually works in their body, and how it can help them out this year.
Definitely. And that is the main product that we sell. And one thing that I'm so proud of with this product is that we actually work with Missouri farmers. So Missouri is leading the way in commercial elderberry farming, and we work with organic farmers. So the berries in here are certified organic berries. And then we work with local beekeepers. So it's real raw honey that we use, fresh ginger, cinnamon, and clove, and it's all whole ingredients like that are brewed. So you're really getting something that's similar to like what you would make on your stove. This is probably the closest you can get. No preservatives, no fillers. So just so you know, you're getting a really good, clean product that's sourced in America and made here. That's number one. And then the way that you take it, I always tell people there's really two ways to take it. One way is you're consistent with it, like we just said earlier. Take it every day during cold and flu season. If you have chronic sinus issues, chronic inflammation, you can take it all year long, and you just take it daily, and it's will constantly keep that viral load down, keep the inflammation down. Some people take it only when they're sick, or you do a combo. So when you're sick, you take it a little bit differently. If you wake up and like you were saying, like a tickle in your throat, or like you feel like you're getting stuffed, you know the feeling when you're getting sick. At onset, if you can catch it at onset and take a tablespoon, your regular dose, every 2 to 3 hours, we tell people. So you're really like walking by your fridge and you're just every 2 to 3 hours just taking a big swig of it. And you only do that for a short duration because at that kind of a dose, it does have some diuretic and laxative properties. So like kind of like vitamin C, we tell people like once you start to feel like a little bowel discomfort, start spreading out that window again. And once you're done, it should be like a day two, you go back to just like your once a day again. And you should have been able to clear the virus that's kind of bugging you.
I mean, I love that approach because it gets you in offense versus defense. I feel like you feel that tickle come on, you have something immediately. You can go to your fridge, you can take it. And I think there's a lot of stress nowadays with, oh my gosh, if I get sick, how am I going to take care of my family? If my kids get sick, then that means I'm out of work. And there's so much stress. And so I'm curious, have you seen that or any testimonials from your side of things that people have reported just the stress and feeling empowered with these products?
Tons of it, especially like preschool age kids, parents, like this is huge for them because preschool age kids are constantly sick. So parents have to take even more days off. Grandparents that watch those kids sometimes too. Or we have a lot of nurses. We have school teachers, people that are kind of constantly around sick people or sick kids. Also, the thing that's great about this is you can buy one bottle and everybody in the house can use it. You just dose differently. So you're not buying 10 things. You buy one bottle, like your kids can take it, you can take it, grandparents can take it. It's fine. You just have to dose it appropriately for their size. So that's another thing that we hear that people are really grateful for.
Would you recommend taking it on an empty stomach or with food?
I give it to my kids with their breakfast. I just I use like a measuring cup. I mean, I don't fill it, but it's just easier for me because I can put it down in front of them. So we take it in the mornings just because it's like a habit. So, or I'll put it in my lemon water. So then I do drink it on an empty stomach. I don't really think it matters. I mean, there's ginger, cinnamon, clove in here. It's not going to really bother you. It's not like something's going to irritate your stomach. So
yeah, I know some supplements, they're better absorbed with food, some without. So I was just curious if there's, I can just see people listening like, how do I really take this? Where does this fall in my morning routine? They want to get specific, me included.
So I honestly put in my lemon water every morning. I start my day with lemon water, like lemon juice, elderberry, and then I'll put sea salt in my water, and I drink it just a little bit warm, like just because I don't like cold anything. So I just drink it a little bit warm. And for my kids, I literally, like I said, just pour it into like a small measuring cup, just so that it can stand. Because I just put it out with their breakfast, and that way, as they're eating the breakfast, they'll take it. It's just like a habit now.
I keep thinking about just your health and wellness, Emilia, because you are a very busy mom. You have 2 kids that are in sports. You're running around. You're doing all of these markets to promote your product. You're in grocery stores. You have a lot going on. And when I think about, and I love following you on Instagram too, because you show how you're caring for yourself. You've got red light therapy going. You got exercise. You got breathing practices. You're going to these entrepreneurial events. Like you have a very busy schedule. And so I want to talk about how you take care of yourself. So many people can relate to your life in some sense, whether they're a busy mom, working, all of it. And so how do you take care of yourself, besides the elderberry, like how are you taking care of your health and wellness?
So I think we mentioned, I think in the last episode, I talked about how I was diagnosed with Crohn's when I was a kid. So I am pretty proactive, especially as now I'm like in my late 40s. And all the things are changing, hormones are changing, everything's changing. So I am very I monitor my health pretty well. So daily life, like I said, I try to get enough sleep because if I don't sleep enough, that's my number one. Like I'm a disaster. I'm cranky. I'm just a mess. So sleep for me is huge. I get as much sleep as I possibly can. And I eat really clean. I don't eat anything processed. Like I eat just real food. And it's not that hard. You just eat fruits, vegetables, proteins, just keep it simple. So that is huge because then I don't feel like I'm weighed down. I try to avoid gluten because then I also don't feel great. I can start feeling like inflammation in my fingers even. So obviously like clean water I think is huge. We have a water filter system, so I try to bring my own water everywhere I go. Those are some major things for me. But also, I do a lot of like, once a month I'll go get IVs where I'm getting like, because I don't absorb B12 well, like my B vitamins are lower. So I'll go get like nutritional IVs once a month, and with like some glutathione, NAD. I'll pump that in, especially now. Like I'm traveling, like we're gone every weekend in December. Like I'm in like 7 states this month, and like on planes and driving, all the things. We have cheer competitions and family and everything, and so I'm really on it. And then recently, I've been doing like every couple of years, I will do like a stool test. And I'm regular with like blood work, especially right now, just monitoring my hormones because I'm like in the season of trying to do that without doing hormone replacement therapy. I'm just trying to see if I can do it with some supplements. So I've been really, really focusing on that kind of stuff, like making sure I don't have parasites. Like I'm always kind of working on it. It's just like consistency. Like I'm always working on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I find though with consistency, a huge part of that is organization. Because if you don't have your calendar organized of when these appointments are, you're going to cheer competitions, you're trying to fit in red light therapy, you're going to get an IV, like how are you staying organized with all of this?
Okay, so that is like my weakest.
You're like, come on, Andrew, why'd you ask me that?
That is honestly where I do need my most improvement. I think like I almost need help. Yeah, I don't know. I rely so much on my phone. And that is a problem sometimes too, because God forbid I enter something wrong or like if the kid, because all of us are on one schedule. Like I've got to color coordinate. Like my daughter's pink, my son is blue, I'm purple for elderberry. So you know what I mean? Like there's so many things on there. So if something is off, like it's missed, and I'm just like, oh,
I think
you
it's
know.
a good opportunity to show your kids though when you do mess up. Like I'm not perfect. I'm trying to juggle your schedule, my schedule, because maybe they'll be parents eventually. And what I love is that you're chasing your dreams, right? You have this mission to bring elderberry into everybody's medicine cabinet. You're living it. You've built this out of your kitchen. And it makes me emotional to think about it because I can relate to this so much of building a business in the midst of having young kids. And so I hope you give yourself grace when you do miss something and then, letting them see how you're doing this. That's so cool. Do you ever think about the lessons they're learning from you building this?
Yeah, I hope they're taking some good lessons. I know they watch. Like I know because I watched my dad build businesses, and when we're kids or teenagers, like we're kind of self-absorbed, especially teenagers, And then mine are very into their own sports and they're busy, and so they're not that involved. Though they help. My son will, like unload my car, like I get them to do things, and I'll pay them to come to markets or whatever. So I know they're seeing, and I know they're watching, and I know at some point in their life it will, make an impact. I think right now they're just like also, doing their own thing.
They're trying to get through their own schedules. Yeah.
Down the road, when they look back, what lesson are you hoping that they're getting out of this experience?
That they could, have the confidence to build their own thing. Like I think that just go for it. I'm a risk taker, and I'll just go and do it. And so I hope that they kind of see that and they're not scared. I just feel like so many times people are scared to do things that they want to do.
How has that showed up in your health? I'm thinking, before we started recording, we were talking about salt baths and mats and all of these different things that to most seem woo-woo-y. And so I think there's a little bit of taking the risk, trying new things. What has that been like in your health journey and how has that served you?
It's everything. Honestly, if I wouldn't have taken risks, I would have never gotten here. I would have never tried new things. And I don't actually think it's woo-woo anymore. I think there's so much science now. And I think if people are not doing the research, they're missing out. Like all these things. Yeah, we can go outside and stand in grass and we can do all these things, but some people, it's just not available to them. Like we can't sit in a stream of cold water, So there are ways we can bring that into our lives. And it's bringing more nature into our lives as well, in a way, things that nature kind of intended for us. And I think that my kids see that too. Like my kids play very competitive sports and they will go in the sauna on their own. I don't even have to tell them to. Like they know, they put the red lights on and they go in there for recovery. They watch all this stuff. Like they're very good about what they eat. They want to fuel. They're also, I can see like their algorithms on their phones. And my son more than my daughter, but he's very into like workouts and recovery meals and so I am going to take credit for that and say that I definitely brought that into his life and encourage that. And I'll send him like Instagram reels and stuff, because that's kind of how they communicate. So yeah, I think it's everything. And that's what healing is, right? Like if we don't take control of our own health and if we don't take responsibility, it's not going to happen. Just not
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, I love that. And it's just showing like you're walking the walk, you're doing it, and they're seeing it. So you could send a reel, you could say something, but I bet just watching you do this and seeing how you show up in the world is the most impactful thing. What I want to talk about, because I think this is so interesting, because you keep talking about, getting back to nature, getting back to healing, right? But then you're creating this supplement. And in my mind, I used to feel supplements are unnatural. You don't need them. You should just get your stuff from your food. But now in the morning, I'm taking multiple supplements and I swear by elderberry and all of these things. So I feel like you're kind of bridging the gap, right? You're taking something natural in the cleanest form you possibly can to put it on the shelves. And I love that. And so for the people out there that are really overwhelmed by supplements, thinking about giving them some advice on maybe what to look for in a label or why elderberry is like an important starting point. Like, can we kind of just talk about the supplement world and how it can be so overwhelming?
I agree. It's so overwhelming. And I've spent so much money on supplements that I'm like, I don't want to take this. Just being honest, it's like there's just so many things out there. And I just think that you got to find your couple things that work for you. Like, I don't want to be sick. That's why we brought elderberry in. That's just one of those things where I can feel like immediate results. And I do take a lot of other supplements, honestly. And I think it's important because I feel like our food is not nutrient dense enough. I think that the water's not clean enough. I think that people don't eat as well. They're eating too much processed junk food, which leaches, the minerals from the body. So I do think there needs to be some supplementation just to kind of be our optimal selves in this environment that we live in that's, dirtier and, just a little harder to live in than it used to be. And for me, this was like the one thing that I found where I was like, I need this in my life because, I had little kids when I made it and we were always sick. And it's this incredible plant that's been around for thousands of years that has been used for a million different reasons. And the more I learn about it, like another thing that we learned at the Elderberry Symposium is they did a huge study for brain health. And the discovery was great. So elderberry does cross the blood-brain barrier. And what it was a study with mice that they did at Missouri University, and what they found was that the mice were able to solve puzzles better, they were more social, and had less inflammation in the brain. So, and this was also done against DHEA, which is considered a great brain health supplement. So, there's so much research now, and they're using it to like study tumors and cancer cell, like how it affects all of those things. Because if it's anti-inflammatory and can get into the brain, and destroy viruses. Like there's just so much potential here. So I think we're just scraping the top of elderberry. So I just feel like it's a great commodity crop here in this country. Like the farmers are growing it. It's been around for thousands of years. It's been studied well. It's one of those things that bringing it into your family, even if you're not doing the elixir, even if you just want like some honey straws or some tea, it's a great plant to just have in your life.
I agree. I love how you said all of that. And something that I always worry about myself, like I think we all have like a fear of a certain disease. A lot of people, it's cancer. For me, it's brain health. Like I'm so worried about Alzheimer's and dementia. And I love that this is an anti-inflammatory product that boosts our brain health too. It's so healing for so many reasons. And it's just like, I feel like I'm falling more in love with elderberry. I'm like, oh, it does that too?
I mean, that's got to be so exciting for you that you're going to these conferences, you're learning all of this new research that's just backing up the product you already have of what is this beautiful product capable of? We keep finding out more and more. How does that feel?
That's exciting. It's super exciting because I feel like, um, you know, like I mentioned with the farmers, like there's so many farmers that are now growing it. Like we can help them move more of their product and they can grow more. It's a great commodity crop for them and get away from the corn, the soy, all of that. So there's so many angles to it because getting this into more people's hands that it can help them in so many ways. And, they've even just did a study with weight loss. I mean, you have to drink quite a bit of it for the weight loss benefit. But again, if you're consistent, I'm sure it does the same thing. Or even for blood sugar regulation, like our dry kits. We made these awesome dry kits where it's dried elderberry, ginger, cinnamon, and clove. And this is like medicine. So like if you're diabetic, we tell people like, make sure you're monitoring your sugar and your medication because it can actually lower significantly lower the blood sugar.
Mm.
So you want to make sure then you're not taking too much medication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying get off your meds, but it's so powerful that once people realize how many different ways they can use it and bring it into their lives, I think it's going to be incredible. And as a business, from like a business perspective, like it's amazing.
Hmm.
They're saying that like the research is just like we're just kind of coming up on the research for elderberry that is going to be so much more than what it is now, and it's going to blow up. And it's exciting, like,
Yeah.
for me as a business owner too, it'd be like, wow, I can't believe I found this plant thinking it was
Yeah.
just for flu.
You're
And now
ahead of
it's
the game.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about that brew kit because I saw you post about this. Is that like a syrup become a syrup? What does that do?
Yeah, so I'm super excited about this brew kit. It is basically the easiest and most cost-effective way that you can make your own elderberry syrup.
Oh.
And it is certified USDA organic. It's all bagged here in the United States in Missouri. And it comes with 3 brew bags. So each bag has enough elderberry, ginger, cinnamon, and clove. All you have to do is put this bag into 2 cups of water. You boil it and like kind of just squeeze it out, and you have completely unsweetened elderberry syrup.
Oh.
So then what you can do is you can make like a real traditional syrup where you put like half a cup of honey in it and it's nice and thick and syrupy. Or if you're vegan, keto, diabetic, you have babies under the age of 1, you can modify the sweetener any way you want. Or like in my parents' house, my dad is diabetic, my mom is not. So she will cook it and divide it into 2 jars, put honey in hers and nothing in my dad's.
Oh.
So it's really great for, just making it whichever way you want to make it. And it's more cost effective. You just have to do a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's more control over it and you can put your own little touch on it. I like that.
How much does each make? Like how much syrup we talking here from each brew kit?
12 ounces. So each brew bag will make 12 ounces, and there's
Wow.
3 brew bags in here. So
Wow.
36 ounces in this bag, and it retails for 39.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, we're making our own syrup.
Making our own syrup. We've got the tea. We've got the straws, the
Got
balm.
the balm. Take the balm when you go
In the
on your
sun.
trip in the sun. I'm telling you, on my shoulders in Florida, that was a game changer. Let's help everybody else get ahead of the game. You said get these products into people's hands. So if they want to get elderberry or follow you to kind of just learn more and watch you grow this business, where can they find you and follow you?
So just at All Things Elderberry on social media, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the things, and it's all the same at All Things Elderberry. And our website is allthingselderberry.com. They can see everything there.
And they'll hear commercials from us. They're going to see reels throughout the year of us promoting All Things Elderberry because we love it. And we're partnered together and I love it. And you can use Gold Ivy at checkout for your first order through All Things Elderberry at allthingselderberry.com.
So last episode, we did our 3 gold stars. I'm curious, this episode, based on our conversation, anything new that's coming to mind? 3 things you want people to walk away with. What would you say?
Okay. So just be happy. Honestly, I just feel like we could just be happy. You could just decide you're going to be happy. I've been reading more about like frequency and that kind of stuff, and just kind of like everyone talks about manifesting and all the things. And I think everything that I've read, it just like aligns with whatever you're kind of putting out there is what you're getting back. And you can choose to be happy. Just go ahead and dance, be happy, have fun.
Yeah.
think
I
that's
love it.
Raise your vibration.
Yeah.
Great advice.
great. Yeah. And it's, you don't have to pretend. You just be happy and it's okay. So I think that's definitely my kind of goal. And also I think like right now, like it's just, then this is, for those winter months, January, February, March, like we're all just like, ugh, by the time February comes, everyone is just dreading the cold and everything. I don't know, just kind of embrace it a little bit. Like go outside for walks in the cold, like embrace the elements.
Yes.
I think we're running away from them. And I do that myself this time of year where I'm like just a little bit more like, ugh, like the seasonal, disorder. So this year I'm not going to do that. Just going to embrace it, go outside, be more active. Just again, I think that's also part of like that energy thing, like just keep moving and doing what you're doing. And I just want to reiterate the consistency. Honestly, that is just I think that's the hardest thing that people struggle with. And I did for a long time too. It's like, you just got to keep going. Sometimes it feels like you're never going to get there, or like you go backwards or like you're stressed, if you just get up and keep going, these are all my new mottos for this year coming up. Just like keep going, be happy and like be outside as much as you can.
Oh, I
I
love
love it.
it.
And
Those are so
I
good.
just want to note too, when you are sick, it does make those things a challenge. It's hard to be
Yeah.
consistent when you feel like crap. It's hard to have a high vibration when you feel like crap. And so consistency with the elderberry is going to help with all of these things. It's going to help with your mood, your ability to get outside, to move your body. It's a simple habit you can do first thing in the morning that is going to give you so many benefits. And I think that's why I'm so excited about it is it's such a low-hanging fruit, pun intended, of a tablespoon and it tastes good. Like it's a good tasting habit.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, next is Unleashing Ivy. And I am so happy and excited to ask you this question because everything you're talking about is exactly what I'm working on too. The raising of the vibe, attracting things at a higher frequency. And it's such an entrepreneur thing, right? Because we need a high vibe to attract the clients. We need to be in our best headspace. We need to be healthy. And in order to be creative, in order to be innovative, in order to not give up being a business owner. And I think that is, you can't really quit being a mom. I mean, I guess you could, but you can quit your business. You can give up, you can quit your health journey. You can stop working out, like all of these things. And so I want to talk a little bit about frequency, maybe what you're learning and what you're starting to implement so you can raise your vibe so that your business can keep thriving.
Movement, I think, is number one. Just like without that movement, I feel like we're just like, I think that's got to be number one. Because if we're not like, as a business owner, even if I'm not working out, if I'm not moving, if I'm not, because I did have some like ruts where I work from home and you're sitting in your house all day and you're just like, ugh, it's like depressing. So I think just forcing yourself to get out and do what you need to do. And then the things that we talked about, like, the saunas and all that stuff, that all changes the frequency too, those red light therapies, all of that.
Yeah. Do you ever have moments where you've like wanted to give up on your business or throw in the towel? Yeah. If you could see her face right now.
She's like, is water wet?
I was like, why didn't I just be like the most ultimate stay-at-home mom, and just like, I don't know. I'm like, I could have done that too, and that would have been great. Yeah, all the time because there's sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on the kids stuff, or I'm not showing up enough there, or there's like there's business stress, like financially, like growing a business takes a lot of capital. And producing lines of, like thousands of bottles of product, is tons of money. And I started this just like in my kitchen, not really knowing where it's going to go, not even having a plan. Just I wasn't even plan for it. So I'm learning as I go. I'm constantly like, oh my God, do I want to make it bigger? Do I want to keep it smaller? I'm just figuring out as I go. And yeah, there's like every other day I'm like, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah. I think trusting yourself, your intuition, that what excites you and that vibration, right? What elevates your vibe, following that and letting the path unfold as you go. I think there's this misconception that like the path's laid out. I just have to find the path. And it's like, no, honey, you are creating the path as you're going. And that's freeing in itself. And that's for entrepreneurship, motherhood. Like I think anyone listening, we don't have it all figured out. That's okay. We're not supposed to.
No, I agree with that 1,000%. And I think that's huge because if you think you know how it's going to go and it doesn't go to plan, you can freak out. Where if you're just like, okay, well, I have like this giant vision here and I have no idea how I'm getting there, but I'm just going to kind of like take one step at a time and whatever pops up in front of me, I'm going to decide if I want to go,
Yeah.
because things pop up where you're just like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming, but great, I'll take that. So I think you just have to be really open to allowing like you said, the path to just be laid out as you're going.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's kind of more exciting almost. You're just like, ooh, like have fun with it, I think. Because I don't know, in the end, like if we're not enjoying it, if we're not having fun, if we're not kind of, what do we do? What's the point?
Yep.
Amen, sister.
Doing this stressed out, miserable. I mean, that sucks. Nobody wants that.
Yeah. That sets me up for my question. Compassion and grace and like being okay with doing it messy and not having it all figured out. How has that evolved as you've continued in business? What do those kind of practices look like?
Yeah, I've learned along the way to do that. And I think some of the mastermind, like even, where we met, like just also being around a lot of other business people that are ahead of me, and hearing their stories and that you're not the only one that's messy. Like you think these people that are like have multi-million, billion-dollar businesses have it all figured out and they're perfect. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't. And once you start kind of meeting some of them, you're like, oh, okay, they're also figuring it out. And so then you give yourself a little bit more permission where you're just like, I'm going to do the best I can every day. And that's still amazing.
I love that. I think you can use that in your fitness journey, you know, anything that you're trying to put into practice. And when you keep talking about consistency, I think about like consistency doesn't look like 100% showing up perfectly all the time. Like this grace and this compassion is weaved into the days where you have a bunch of people at your house and you're not getting in your workout. Like you're consistently thinking about what that goal is or thinking about the next time you're going to get after it. Like it doesn't have to be a perfect goal. Consistency can look, you know, 70-30. It doesn't have to be this perfect thing. And I think it gives people permission to just like give up and just like stop taking care of themselves or focusing on the goal. But consistency is like this, you know, ebb and flow back and forth.
Yeah. And I think I agree with you 1,000%. That people always think, oh, I fell off for a day or two. Now I'm just done. But it's not, it's like you just got to keep going. Even when you mess up, you still got to just keep going. And as long as you just keep going, eventually, like you start to go up, 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 up. And there was this book that I read, I'm trying to remember the name of it, where it was like, they talk about how the slow up the hill feels like you're going forever. But then all of a sudden, once you get to a certain point, it starts to really take off. So I think it's like that grind, those first couple of years and it's years. Like people think it's like, oh, it's going to be tomorrow. Like you're an overnight success. No, it's years. Like healing takes years sometimes. Building businesses takes years. Like, you know, we all want this instant gratification, but it takes years.
I think about that with motherhood too, where it's like the early years feel like I'm not doing anything right. I don't know what I'm doing. And then as more years come on, you're like, okay, they're going to be fine. Like we're thriving. Like it's messy, but we're having more fun in the mess because we realize it's just what it is. And you start to build that confidence, I think, as a mother too, of knowing like you don't have to be this perfect thing. It's so similar to entrepreneurship. It's wild. And you know, raising the vibe of your home, having the fun music on, doing the things that improve your health, like makes everything better. And so I think they like mirror each other so much. And it's crazy to kind of do them together. I'm excited for Brooke when she jumps into this too.
Well, and I'm so grateful we're having this conversation because the people who are still at the bottom or aren't a mother yet or, you know, fill in the blank, to be listening to this an honest conversation and have those role models where you just be honest. Like, I think we're just giving permission to people to be honest with where you're at, how you're feeling. It's going to help with your mental health so much. When we feel alone, when we feel like the outcasts, we're comparing. Like, I think that's what leads me in trouble with my mental health. So having ladies like you in my corner, people following us and listening to this conversation, I think is healing in itself. And I'm really grateful for you both.
Oh, so sweet. Oh, and Maggie.
Maggie
the dog is looking up at Emilia right now. So cute. Okay, last question. We asked this last time, so I want to change it a little bit. Okay. Amelia, 5 years from now, what are you hoping that you look back on these past 5 years? Okay, so it's end of 2030. What are you kind of hoping happens in your life, whether it's personal, family, business, that you look back and you're like, wow, I did that or I experienced that. That's amazing.
Wow. Well, I guess I have to start with the kids, right? Like my kids are in high school now. So in 5 years, they'll be out of college. It's crazy. So I hope that, you know, they're living their best life and that they're happy and then they're figuring it out. And that, you know, my husband and I have like our retirement plan where we'd love to get to the beach. I hope that we can build a life where we have space for the kids to come home and eventually with their kids and where we have more freedom, you know, where we can go travel and, you know, I feel like we're just all in this like tight schedule right now. Like everything is so run around and be here and be there. And I hope that in 5 years, I have a life where I can wake up in the morning and just be like, what am I going to do today? I'll just have that space and enjoy it with my family.
Yeah, freedom.
Sounds
freedom of time and energy. I love that. I think everyone can relate to that on some level of let's just create that space. Like, how could you do that today? How could you set up your schedule where you just have a little more breathing room? You have time to play with your dog and snuggle with them.
It's hard today. I can definitely say that today. It's hard to do that for me.
Yeah.
And some seasons, I think being okay with that. Of like, this season, this is what it takes for me to get that space. But also, you know, you have time with your mat and your sauna, and you are creating those little moments. So I do just want to acknowledge that you are making time for you.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Because sometimes we forget that we are, I'm like,
you are doing good. And it's an honor to be partnered with you, to follow you, to have you in our circle, to learn from you, to see you in grocery stores, fresh time everywhere, and building your business. And so we're so grateful for you, for your time, for your wisdom. And we always finish every episode with a piece of gold, a quote that speaks to you. Would you sign us off with yours?
Ooh, okay. I think my favorite quote is always healing takes time. I know I've said that a million times, but I feel like I have to say it again anyway, because people forget just everything. It takes time. Be patient. So healing takes time.
Does it ever end?
No.
That's the freedom that's what I like to remind myself is it's an ongoing journey. There's no end point. Just like entrepreneurship, there is no, you have arrived.
But I think it's also self-love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, love yourself enough
to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just listening to a podcast the other day that's like, any trigger you have, so we could say it's a person, it's an emotion, it's a situation, it's something physical, like a trigger, is just a sign that there's something else to heal. So there's something unhealed in you, and just to explore that and nurture it, and like you said, self-love on it. What is that trigger? What is it trying to tell me that I need to work on healing? And so it's almost like getting excited to see what the trigger is. Like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that was going to trigger me so much. Mm-hmm. What is it that I need to heal? What is it that I believe about myself that I need to work on giving myself some more compassion, some more grace for that thing, or I want to learn about, or I want to do better? Like, I think it's almost like extreme accountability. Like, this is on me that I'm triggered. It's not on anybody else. And I want to take that space to just allow myself to know, okay, I need to heal some more in this area. I love that.
I love that. So true.
And maybe your act for self-love, those listening, is to get the elixir and start taking care of your immune system, your mental health with a simple tablespoon a day. That's my challenge to you. We're going to put the link right below so you can learn more and grab it. And again, thank you, Emilia, so much for your time, your wisdom. We love you and we love your products.
Thank you both. I love you guys too. And I'm so inspired by everything that you guys are building. You're so lucky to have each other. It's so fun to watch the dynamic, and you guys are awesome.
Oh, this is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.
Oh, what a way to kick off the season.
That was our first recording of the new season. That felt good.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
So easy with you. I love your spirit. You're so relaxed and real and badass. And it's such a great combination.